Welcome, Marianne. Can you tell us about a bit yourself and your background? What do you do at the moment?
Okay, so I am French. I live in the Netherlands for 5 years now, and I'm a painter and I'm a workshop host. And I'm also a technician for theater. Um,
You have a very cool job. I don't think many people met theater technician. What does they do?
Basically, I take care of building most of the time, the stage, everything for the performance and build. That's the biggest part of the job. But sometimes it happens that we do some change in between the performance because I work mainly for the opera. So it can be that, it's most of the time very long, that there is a short break where we move stuff on the stage. So yeah, that's main of the job.
What are some recent things you've been experimenting or creating recently?
So I paint. I did one first exhibition in the beginning of the year now, and I'm looking forward to do a new one. I'm painting a new big painting, second big painting. There will be 90 per 90 also, so that's the painting part. For the workshop, I'm launching this workshop in a more professional way. I found a place to make the workshop happen, so hopefully the next one will be in September 26th. And yeah, I'm very focused on the workshop actually right now, the painting workshop.
What excites you about it, creating workshops?
Yeah, I think it was quite intuitive that I wanted to put together self-development and painting in a workshop, and it's exciting to put those two things together and to share what I've been through myself in my journey of self-development, but also as a painter, and to allow people to connect with their emotion and translate those with painting. That's basically my goal with those workshops. So this, yeah.
When you look back your journey, is there some special moment that day was really important for you, or something that you will never forget? It doesn't have to be grand, like it can be small things as well. That
I will go with the first thing that comes in mind because I think it's always the truth. It's random, but I think about New York because I was dreaming to go in New York when I was younger, so almost 10 years ago, and I just made it happen because I was so obsessed with the idea to just be in the city basically without any real plan. But I ended up working in one of the biggest theater there, so I think this experience taught me that when you have a very big drive, like something that you're so excited about, it just radiates from you, and it also makes yourself more persistent and resilient. And I think that's what happened when I wanted to go there. I was like so motivated that I made it happen better than anything I could expect. Like ended up in one of the biggest theater, having a work of stage manager there.
oh,
So that was quite crazy as experience. Yeah,
it's very cool. How was the art scene affected you in New York? How is the art happening in New York? Other different than Paris?
Yeah, it's
or Netherlands.
Really, yeah, it's really incredible. I think in New York there is this very, very high energy that people may feel if they've been there. It's like you can feel it, like there is a high energy of creation. Even in the street you can see people that literally sings for no reason, or like just musician in the subway. They're like so talented. Even on the walls, like you have street art that are so good, like the level is so high of creativity and just artists that are super talented there, that it's make you want to create even more, if that makes sense. Yeah,
that's cool. I've never been to New York yet.
Yeah?
It's on my list now.
Really nice city. Yeah, really nice city.
this is a little bit abstract for artists maybe, but how do you approach a new project from concept to execution? How do you facilitate the creation process?
Most of the time for painting, for me, it really goes with a vision. So it's more something I don't really control. I just have an idea in mind, then I conceptualize on a sketchbook. I write, sometimes I have like colors or idea, and I try to put this all on my sketchbook and then make it come true on the canvas. Now I paint with oil, but really it's kind of mysterious almost even to me. Sometimes it just comes to my mind quite naturally, but I think it's also in the process that you repeat to create. You kind of create a language for your brain that makes you want to create even more, if that makes sense. So it's kind of a momentum that you create when you start painting. Then you want to make your world even bigger. You know, it was like, oh, but I would love to show this idea also, or this idea. Yeah.
Was the oil painting first medium you tried, or have you experimented in different?
Yeah, not at all. I think I was very intimidated when I started oil painting, because it feels like the main paint that the big painter used, you know. So I felt completely not comfortable to start with that. I started with digital painting. I was on Photoshop in my tablet. I did that for quite some years, because I thought I can erase all the time. If I do some mistakes, it's always okay. You can just redo it, change the colors. So it was a whole process for me to even come from Photoshop and digital to even paper and gouache, which is like the paint that a lot of children use.
What is
it was different steps,
different using gouache and oil painting in canvas? How does it feel difference?
Yeah, I think for me it was indeed this thing of allowing myself to use something that sounds more scary, if that makes sense. The thing with gouache...
What is scary about it?
Yeah, because I think it's very mental, but I don't think I'm the only one thinking this, because gouache, it's cheap, first of all, you know. Oil is way more expensive, so, you know, you want to use something and you need to be confident in that you're going to make something great out of it. Gouache is you dilute it with water, so it's it's just more easy to use, cheaper, more accessible. So that's why it felt like more okay to start with that. And then I also paint a bit with acrylic, which is in between. And oil just asks for a little bit more practice, I would say, but it's still very possible for everyone to do so. So
interesting. I wonder if does it affect the end price of the art? If it's gouache or acrylic or oil painting, the economics, I will look for this.
It could be, because indeed if you do like very big canvas, it's literally money, you know? No, it's true. Like if you just oil painting is quite expensive for a fact. But it also means it lasts more time. That's also why most of the biggest paint you can see in museum are made with oil, because it lasts very long. Well, the gouache is not meant for, you know, lasting long time. So this is also...
in your art, are there specific concepts or themes that you explore more often than the others?
Yes, definitely.
What are they?
I always represent women in my paintings, or most of the time now I'm representing a man. Actually, in my last painting, it's very first time, but mostly women, always nature intertwined, and it's always in a spiritual research that I do it. So I use nature and the elements to translate emotions that make any sense. I think it will make more sense with some visuals.
Yeah.
Yes, so those are the elements. There's always, most of the time, water or fire or tree representation and a woman.
Are there some specific artists that you got inspiration from that makes you realize in your, let's say, teenage years that, oh, this clicked in me? That do you have some person that you look up to?
Yes, Frida Kahlo, very big inspiration. I really love her. I really love her art. Personally, I don't know her, and she's not from our world anymore. But yeah, I really love how she's so intense in the representation of what she's going through and how she used metaphor a lot in her paintings. And then more recently, I hope I will say her name well, Ilma F. Klint. I'm not extremely sure about the name.
We wrote it in the screen.
It's gonna
already.
be written. She goes fully into spirituality representation, so it's more abstract, but it's so amazing. I really love. It's really inspiring to me, also. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. I think people get inspirations from them as well.
Yeah.
This is an or question. What motivates you or what recharges you? With the recharges that maybe sometimes creative people experience creative blocks. If you experience some kind of like this, how did you overcome on that? With the motivates you, that what makes you urge to create something in the morning when you wake up? Do you have that inside you, or is it something comes from outside? You pick one of them.
Oh yeah, okay. I pick one of them. For recharging, yeah, it's interesting because indeed I think most of artists will experiment some blocks at some point. It's a weird balance, I feel, for myself at least. I don't want to push me too hard if I feel like I'm not in the right creative state, or I will try to do something else, like walking, listening to a podcast, going into nature, pretty simple, but for me going close to the sea is always a really well way to rest and feel grounded again. But I also saw that sometimes if I force a bit more myself to make a habit out of painting, it's also more natural than to me to come back to it, and I actually love it. So it's like, you know, you create kind of the habits. It's kind of a balance again to have the space reserved for the creation moment, but also don't push yourself too hard if you feel this is really not the moment to go forward. So yeah, I would say it's a bit this for me.
Okay. Last 3 questions.
Okay.
What are you currently building today as Marianne 2024?
What I'm currently building.
Yeah, for your future self.
Yeah, definitely this workshop. I think it's the main focus for me now, is making this outside of me and communicating about it, which is the new challenge for me, is to be more vocal about it and find the right way to meet the people that would be enjoying this experience. So this is one thing. I'm also starting a big coaching program, so this also I think is a big thing for me. It's gonna last 9 months, and it's going through the deep programs that you have when you are having blocks, and what are your programs that you had as a child, and to reprogram yourself in many ways. So that I'm quite excited to start, because I think it's going to change, of course, many things, not only in my artist journey, but as a human being. So yeah, that will be influenced, I think.
Cool. One small question is that what did you want it to become when you were a child?
Oh yeah, I remember this question. I didn't have such a strong statement as I hear child have, you know. I remember willing to be a hairdresser, which when I was really young, which really never followed up in my life. Maybe the link could be taking care of people, you know, having a link with people. But I knew from a very young age that I was creative, so that would be quite obvious for me and for everyone around me that I should create. It was very wide, so I was not sure what. Yes.
I see. If you could control everything, how would you hope to be remembered in the future? After 100 years about Marianne, what would they talk about? Like, our whole life is being recorded at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think actually something I didn't even share that now, so it's a good opportunity, would be create my performance, because I wrote a performance, theater performance, dance. It's more a dance performance actually. I wrote it 10 years ago and I still didn't produce it, but I'm willing to do it. I think that's the main thing I would love to do before I die in my life, because I feel it's a project that needs to be birthed. And then having a career as a painter and workshop host, that would be then also very nice if I can really build this bigger. Yeah, both. So yeah.
What is this about, the project? What do you need at the moment? If it is the thing you wrote to be actualized, what would, like, there's a theater, what would be you need to find the right people to perform?
Yes, back in the day I was finding the start of the team to make it, but then the producing part, and I think I'm struggling with the exact same thing now. It's the advertising part and the producing part. I think it's quite connected. It's like how I share my project to the world, how I speak about it. I think it's also a good reason we are connected today.
Maybe some people want to actualize it, so they can reach out to you.
I would love that. Yeah, no, indeed. Just finding the funds and the money part, I would say, the financial part, but also just finding people I can work with as a collaborator, but then you need to pay them also, because people will not. Yeah, so that's just was the struggle, that I was just too much alone in this journey and not finding the funds and the money to make it happen. Yeah.
Thank you so much. These are all of the questions.
Thank you.
I have. Have a nice day. Bye.
Yes. Bye bye.